What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thanks for tuning in yet again to another episode of Kane and Ross present the Yeah, I Said It podcast. We're expressing our full capabilities to them, my wonders in correctional facilities, brainchild of my child. I am the dad half of this operation, Ross Cooper, coming to you live and in public, if you will. Sans my normal Yankee fitted, because honestly, I just ain't feeling this place at all. We'll see if this changes by next week, but yeah, America Kaka is America Kakaing, and it's just wild. But as always, I am rocking with the best. My co-host, please introduce yourself to the folks.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Was having a good day, month, hour, year, second, all that good stuff. We watched other platforms, please share with your friends and family, pets, bug on the wall, aliens outside, trash man, all that good stuff. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe, because if you don't, your TV gonna follow.
We'll take it. We'll take it. For those of you who can actually see us on YouTube, if you saw what I just did, it's an interesting thing because that's our very first topic. It goes back to the Hulkamania. Let me hear the crowd, and I can't think of a better place to start than there because I didn't think that this would be such a thing, but it's a thing, and I'm shocked. So for those of you who don't know, Terry Bollea, aka as he's known most of us, Hulk Hogan, died at the ripe old age of 71 a few days ago, and I one of the things a lot of people are going to have to reckon with is complicated legacy. Complicated legacy is what the media has coined, a term the media has pretty much coined when you have someone that is maybe well beloved by society, by the public, but has done some shaky things. R. Kelly, Kobe Bryant, for the most part, it's all guys, right? It means you've done something to achieve a lot of notoriety, but you've also done something to possibly knock yourself off the pedestal that the public has placed you on. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Triple H and The Rock go, quite honestly. But not the point. Hogan, Hulk Hogan, is literally the reason why an entire generation of people love pro wrestling today, whether they know it or not. Your age and lower, maybe not know this, but Hogan was the guy in when it was WWF. Long before it was WWE, it was WWF, World Wrestling Federation. It was Vince McMahon Sr. and then Vince McMahon Jr., who runs it now, well, used to run it until he got himself in hot water being Captain Grabass. Um, but Hogan was the guy. How much was Hogan was the guy? To give you an example, I am 48. I remember WrestleMania 3 losing my voice, screaming so loud when Hogan slammed Andre the Giant. This is back when you couldn't convince me wrestling wasn't real, right? Um, I remember WrestleMania 4 when well leading up to WrestleMania 4 when Hogan and Macho Man the betrayal there and Elizabeth and everything else there. I remember the biggest heel turn in known history when Hogan went to WCW and became part of NWO. It was like you can watch that now, and it's one of those you can see it on YouTube, but it is one of those you had to be there moments. Um, I remember after Hogan retired, he took on Gawker, which was a pretty much a sleazy news publication, and won. Holy shit. He took on the media and won. That's where things turn. Granted, you want to focus on, hey, he beat a newspaper, First Amendment rights, blah, 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 blah. But it was interesting because what Gawker showed us was him using the N word excessively, mad that his daughter was dating a black guy, noted that if she was going to date a black guy, at least could he be one of those 8-foot ball playing niggers with the heart ER. Um, yeah. and he was summarily, which is interesting coming from Vince, but I think he was kicked out of WWF Hall of Fame, pretty much excommunicated from anything wrestling related. Got it. Um, Rightfully so. Fast forward a few years, somehow he gets back in wrestling's good graces. Fast forward a few years after that, he turns up at MAGA rallies, talking about he's gonna body slam Kamala and peddling his beer or whatever the hell it was. And now he's dead. What I found interesting is and I don't know what you saw because I'm curious what you saw. What I found interesting is the amount of people willing to, oh, he just made a mistake. Then it gets better. Oh, he gave his life to Christ right before he died. So we can't, it wipes out everything else because he gave his life to Jesus right before he died. And then it was the whole, I've seen the whole separate art from artist shit. Hulk Hogan, the real American hero, you know, I am a real American. He was great and good and wholesome. It was Terry Bollea. He was the racist a-hole. And what has made this all the more wild is the amount of black men that I've seen defend this in the comments. I'm just dog. When he wasn't in gold and red, yellow and red, and in the ring, he told you what he thought about you. Somehow you let these warm and fuzzies from when you were 7 years old color the fact that the person you were looking at was probably not liking you very much, or liked you as long as you weren't banging his daughter. I'm sorry, there's just certain things you racism is a choice, dog. You can unlearn it. You stuck with this until you were like 50 years old-ish or something. How many black wrestlers did you work with and you were quietly thinking this is a nigger? Wow, wow. Like, and again, speaking for myself, someone who came up a Hulkamaniac, it hurt. It hurt to hear. Is tearing down the idol. But I'm gonna shut up because I don't want to go on a super long diatribe. You're here. I am very curious because obviously given our age difference, I'm very curious what you feel and think here. Because everyone my age is acting like they're still 8 years old. It's still Hulkamania, and oh my gosh, it's the Hulkster. Like they can't reconcile. Yes, he was a piece of trash, but
First, I'd like to say RIP, and the P don't stand for peace. Um, and it rhymes with miss. Yeah, I don't care. That wasn't obviously my generation, but we all know who Hulk Hogan was 'cause I did grow up a wrestling fan. You know, The Rock, Kane. Right. When he had the mask, when he took it off, he was trash. Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, all that. John Cena, all that. So, well, I learned it was fake. But yeah, I mean, once I seen that, I don't know how many years ago it got leaked. You just at that point, I don't even care anymore. Because once we all found out it was fake, these are all characters. The same way you can say, Chris Evans is Captain America. Yeah, you might love Cap, but if Chris Evans, I'm not saying he will, comes out and does some wild or does some racist ish, you might, well, that's Captain America. Oh, that's a double entendre. But yeah, it's Captain America.
I was just about to say
Uh,
that's actually your brand.
that's
But
actually, I can't even be mad at that. He Captain America. Well, he black now, so that kind of makes it weird. But yeah, um, I can separate because wrestling is more easier than a musician and all that because that's their music. That's still kind of them. That's a part of them.
okay.
Hogan is literally a character. It's not his real name. That's his character. That's what he's. That's a role. He's an actor. That's what wrestling is acting. It's stuntman acting. So I can separate
Mm,
I can separate uh those two and hate them both because Hulk Hogan wasn't real. Like you said, you're
I,
not 7 years old anymore. He's not a mythical figure that you think he is. It's a character. It was all fake anyway. So
ooh, I got a comment about that, but continue.
it was all fake anyway. So it was like I have no allegiance to pro wrestlers or any celebrity really. But this is a parasocial society we live in now, and it's gotten to an all-time bad now. But yeah, middle fingers to him. And like I said, R.I.P. and it rhymes with miss. So yeah, that's all I got to say.
I think like I said, honestly, I'm confused by the conversation. I thought this was open and shut. I don't believe you can see. I get what you're saying, and you just brought something to my mind that I hadn't considered. You're right. In a lot of these cases, these are characters, and we often use the wrestling analogy when we're talking about politics. So the front facing aspect of it is a character. And I thought about it when you just said it. I'm like, hmm. So let's go back to Django. Leo, Leo's character Candy was a character. Leonardo DiCaprio himself is not a racist, to my knowledge. Leo himself said he had a hard time playing that character for the use of the N word and other things too.
Right.
We all know Samuel L. Jackson is not a sellout in any way, shape, or form, but he probably played the most famous sellout on screen because a lot of folks still don't know who Uncle Ruckus is. So,
About to say Uncle Ruckus is still number one.
amongst us. Side note, I just started watching the Boondocks. I've only seen a few episodes, but I'm actually going back and rewatching it. Oh my god. Aaron Magruder, if you have come across this, can you please bring it back right now? It
There'll
is
be
so much shit going on.
there's so
Hugh
much.
and Riley, can you please bring it back? We need the Boondocks right now. We
I
need
think that would be nice.
actually, and I was gonna say, actually, you know what? Never mind the cartoon. If there was ever something that needed a live action actual movie, I could definitely see a Boondocks movie for real.
Um,
Let's get a Boondocks movie.
uh, just bring back the cartoon. Stop.
That live action, bro. Live
I'm
action.
tired of everything being live action and it being dog shit. So I don't care. I don't need live action. Just bring back the animation. Bring back the voice. Well, you can't bring back everybody. Rest in peace, Granddad. But
Yeah, and you can't. I mean, I get it. If you live action, you can't really have Regina King doing the voices, but
oh, you could. But I
right,
nah, I don't need to see. Nah, that's one of them things that need to. Like, it's like a Family Guy live. I don't need live action. I just keep it animated
and
and just make more
and
sense.
and the running joke of Samuel L. Jackson playing the white guy. Say what again? So you'd lose that, but I, when we if there was ever a time that we needed the Boondocks, it's right now. It's right now. But I was saying that to say, okay, you raise a very good point. Is there a separation between Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea? On the surface, yes. But I got to go back to what you mentioned about Captain America. The funny thing is, and here's the nod and the wink, wink. Hulk Hogan the character was very representative of America when we think about it. The prayer, the training, the vitamins. Well, the prayers was apparently to, white Jesus. That's very on brand for America. The training, okay, yeah, we want to lift weights and get big and strong so we can beat other people. That's very on brand for America. And the vitamins are not the kind you can buy in stores. Also very on brand for America. So it's a character and it embodied all of the American values. Nod, nod, wink, wink. That's the interesting piece. So even when we try to separate the Hulk Hogan character, yeah, it still gets interesting, but I'm finding it just wild. The defense that he's getting and the number of people my age who cannot seem to not speak through their 7-year-old selves. Like I said, I watched um I watched a special on YouTube about the it was about the Hogan and Roddy Piper beef, which is one of the first big wrestling beefs. And it was wild just seeing all the iterations it took. I forgot completely Roddy Piper went to WCW shortly after Hogan, and they finally, Piper was the one wrestler Hogan never beat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to BS you. It gave me all the feels. I was my 8, 9-year old self all over again. I remember Hulkamania. I remember, every kid did it, trying to tear their shirt off and got, scolded by their parents because why are you tearing shirts? um, it brought back all the feels, and all it did was remind me how utterly disappointed. And like I told you, I thought Hogan was just a light skinned black dude. I didn't get the California surfer dude shtick in the 80s when I was a kid. I thought he was just a light skinned black dude. Like I didn't understand tanning. No one I knew tanned.
Thank God we got 4K now.
like nobody I knew tanned. So I just thought he was a light skinned brother. No,
With
no,
blonde
he was.
hair? What light
I'm a
skin?
7-year.
You
I'm a
don't put
7-year old,
blonde
sir.
hair?
What do you? I'm a 7-year old in Buffalo, New York. What do you want? What do you want from me?
You ain't never seen no black blonde hair in Buffalo. I guarantee it. Especially during that time.
This is true.
Yeah,
This is true.
let somebody dye their hair blonde back then, boy. That's when bullying was acceptable. But yeah, it's bullying.
It's true. Not acceptable bullying.
It was
No.
acceptable. If you would let certain words, the F word, I ain't talking about uck. You would let it
Yeah.
all fly. Well, actually, it was
Yeah.
letting that fly during my generation. It didn't start to change to like 2010s.
No,
But
and I
yeah,
will always say, shout out to the LGBTQ community because y'all actually did with queer what black people thought they did with the N word, except it didn't work. But no, queer, yeah, in the 80s, queer used to be an insult. Now it's actually part of the moniker LGBTQ. The Q stands for queer. So queer is not actually an insult anymore. It is an identifier. So shout out to y'all. But yeah, I didn't realize till later that Hogan, oh, that's just a really big white guy. I had no idea about tanning and bronzer. I had no idea. Nor did anyone mention it to me. Um, but but even if we take away the racist aspect of it, you were a company guy. You were a company man. Like the WWF tried to unionize because for those who don't know, professional wrestling is a brutal sport at the highest, at all levels, honestly, but especially the highest levels. You might be working 200, 250 days out the year on the road, in hotels, so on and so forth for a certain amount of pay. Like people didn't get super paid, I don't think, until you got to like the Stone Cold era. So Stone Cold made a crap ton of money. The Rock obviously made a crap ton of money. But before then, like a lot of your favorite stars did not make a crap ton of money. Hogan did. The company did. But he was the one behind closed doors, keep snitching on everybody trying to get a union together. Jesse Body Ventura mentioned that. Hogan was the one who told, hey, he's trying to get, they're trying to unionize. And that was summarily crushed because most companies don't want you unionizing. So even
the
if we
world don't
take
want to be guys. Yeah.
Amazon, sure the hell doesn't, but that's another conversation. Um, but even then, like you a company guy, you snitched on your peoples, and you had the ability to put, in wrestling when it's time to pass the torch on to somebody else, it's called putting somebody over. Hogan didn't want to put anybody over. So it's like even if we separate all of the racist nonsense, you were a pretty. And then from a skill perspective, I've heard the rumors that Japanese Hogan in Japan have more skill. But let's be real. Now that we're all older, we can look back. Hulk Hogan as a wrestler was not high on the skill meter. It was a couple punches, some body slams. He's going to take some damage. He's going to hulk up, boot to the face, leg drop, match over. And we all cheered. we, we all cheered. But it's just a weird thing to see, like your legacy. What I remember you for, the last things I remember you for are racist rant, going MAGA, and jokingly talking about violence to a woman who happens to be a black woman. That doesn't, for me, as someone that identifies as really pro black person, pro black woman, that outweighs all of the feels from my childhood. I'm an adult now. I can see for in understanding like it's like I said, it's just wild to me. It's wild to me. But I'm trying to think, what major rivalry did he have? When you think of Hogan, you think of his rivalries, and ironically, I can't think of many he had with black wrestlers. His biggest feud, Andre the Giant, white guy, obviously. Macho Man, white guy. Ultimate Warrior, another white guy. Ric Flair, another white guy. Roddy Piper, another white guy. I don't remember if he fought The Rock. I think he did, but I'm trying because what I'm trying to do, and maybe I shouldn't, is just trying to justify, like, make it make sense. How do you work? It's like a white quarterback in the NFL. How do you work in conditions that require you to work with black people and carry that around? That that's the wild part to me. Like you can't be a racist quarterback. You can't. Because odds are your receivers, your running backs, your skill positions are probably black guys. So how can you even work in that space? But the reactions have been telling. And I'm looking at brothers again, like y'all looking like Samuel L's character in Django. The white man is dead, and y'all sitting there holding him crying. And he had already made it perfectly clear he don't like you. He don't like you. And I think for me, that's one of the most troubling pieces because I am 100% sure that during his day, he has signed so many autographs, so much memorabilia for black kids and black fans. And I'm like, so are you sitting here signing everything, thinking to yourself, this little nigger baby? Like is the pathology of racism escapes me. I don't get it. I don't get it. And to hold on to that for that long is like, wow, you committed to the character, boy. You committed to the character. All right, I feel like I'm rambling here. What else you got on that one, man? If anything,
Got nothing.
yeah, that's it. Oh gosh, I just need brothers to do better. I just need brothers to do better. We don't have to be connected to whiteness to that degree. We really don't. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I saw it. I think I sent it to you right before we got started. Shannon Sharpe was fired. Did you catch that one?
Yeah.
The reason I want to touch on it is because, again, same thing. Listen, dear black men, I'm not sure how many examples you need to see to show you are not white men. You're not. And it's I feel bad for Shannon, and not because of on some sympathy tip. I feel bad for Shannon because it's like, and this is the point I was trying to make. This is the point I want to make. This is in real time proof. Just because it's legal, don't mean it's a good idea. Listen, it is perfectly, absolutely legal for a 50-something-year-old to holler at a 19-year-old. It is absolutely legal. Past the age of 19, you are good to do whatever you want to do. It's absolutely legal. Um, the incredible lack of awareness on Shannon's part is what jumps out at me. I think we talked about this on the show before. Dog, you've been a professional athlete through the 90s. Won Super Bowls, went to the Hall of Fame, blah, blah, blah. You didn't have bread for a minute, which means you know NFL owners, which means you know rich and powerful white guys. You should I figure you should also sort of picked up on the fact that you ain't them. Like, and here's we're gonna have a bit of ugly truth for a moment. Let's be all the way real with it. If it's certain things you want to have done sexually, whatever, there's a way to get that done with the money you had and the proximity of people that you were around, Shannon Sharpe. So to be caught up by a OnlyFans model, a teenage OnlyFans model, oh, and if it's true, you was gonna get like some damn near some Stephen A. Smith money. Oh, you oh ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Fam, it's too many lanes, too many options, too many passports. If you into certain thing, I don't want to king shame. If you're into certain things, go do that privately so it doesn't cost you 50 mil if you just can't figure out as a 50 something year old, I probably shouldn't be trying to play around with a 20-year old. If we don't click, you might want to go elsewhere and talk to other folk to figure out how to get that done so it doesn't end up costing you your legacy and $50 million. So because honestly, I thought he was gonna be, I thought he was gonna be all right. Case settled, it's over. That's that. He's gonna be back. He said he's gonna be off first take until football season start. All right, got about another month. No, and between Club Shay Shay and Late Night with Chad Ochocinco, I'm suspecting those aren't $50 million paychecks. Just saying.
Uh, I don't really feel bad nor care. Like, you're 50 years old, messing with a teenager. Like,
Now,
think about
now,
that.
she's
Teenager.
20.
No, she was 19 at the time, maybe even younger. So, teenager.
Oh wow.
That's wild. Yes, is it legal? Sure, but I don't know. I think you should stop messing with teenagers if you're not a teen yourself or like a 21-year old. I think that should be the limit. Because 50-year-old teenager, I don't care y'all both adults. That's still weird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like if you wanted to go younger, you couldn't find a 30-year-old. Hell, 25, 28, 29, something. I don't know. Right, that's even too
And,
young, but 30 something? That's at least that's 20 years younger.
right.
No, you like them young. Young, young. I hate you like them young. Yep. You're not going to sell Black One, but boy, you just retired her. So congratulations. You retired her before your daughter and your other family that you was giving a cap to, but now she has an unlimited cap because you being horny. And you didn't go through the right avenues like you just said. Like all rich people in the league, we gonna keep it funky like you said. There's a reason why they all mess with the same people, the same shorties. There's a reason for that.
Mhm.
Because they don't do shit like this. You messing with a teenage OnlyFans model. What did she? Then, from what I heard from the tapes that was leaked, I heard a mile away she was lining you up, dog. You was getting lined up from the start, and you didn't even notice. Like how you're an OG in this game, you don't know when you being lined up.
Bro,
The
and,
phone
and
calls itself sounded like you was being lined up.
and sadly, Duke alum has been dragged into this. They brought back conversations about Zion and like, y'all country boys can't see when y'all getting lined up.
No, because they
Yeah.
horny. They got the money. Say, all right, I can do anything. I just pay. Yeah, paying for it, cool. Most elites and people in your position do pay for it for reasons for because they ain't got time. And you can't really do a regular person because this shit happens. But y'all paying or not paying actual sex workers. What you think they've been trying to line you up at? They're trying to retire from the sex work.
Like
Y'all the military, like dog.
the size of this L is legendary.
Monique warned you. You didn't listen.
The size of this L is like I saw the late now the funny thing is the latest Club Shay Shay is actually with his brother. And I really want to watch it. I can't. I'm going to at some point. I just can't because it's like all of this could have been avoided, my guy.
Yeah.
All of this could have been avoided.
So
On a just basic, like you just mentioned, like I just mentioned, on a basic common sense level, dog. If I'm in my 50s, even if I'm feeling wow, I probably shouldn't go no nothing longer than 30.
yeah.
You went fresh out of high school, bruh. Like she got more. She can remember her prom vividly right now. She can remember her prom vividly. She probably got friends from freshman year of high school in her phone.
Like I said, her brain ain't even fully developed, bro.
Right,
Like,
right.
and
Dog.
yet she's still outsmarted your stupid ass. But yeah, it's hey, I don't feel bad. I already had a rocky relationship because coon-tastic behavior. But hey, sometimes you gotta light up the grill, man. Celebrate. So
I mean,
somebody,
I don't even think if you invited Kat back on the show for a follow-up interview is going to save you.
it's not. You already lost. You already paid that. You gotta pay her, retire her, and then your reputation's down the tape because they know how
Completely.
much of a freaky boy you are with teenagers or 20-year-olds if you want to really give you grace. But I mean, it's right there. I'm not.
What did Kendrick tell us? If 20 chicks are being loved, just make sure you hide your little sister from them. Just
Yeah,
make sure you hide your little sister from them.
that's accurate.
That's the scary.
Bro, you didn't have no buffer. You didn't talk like it's you in the NFL. You were around all these elite rich people who know we all know pay for certain stuff. You
Robert
didn't
Kraft.
contact them, be like, yo, put me up, but do have a bumper and then set stuff up, have an agreement, have paper signed, whatever they usually do. You didn't have
Like,
you decided, nah, I'm not gonna do all that everybody else do so they don't get caught up. I'm gonna do my own thing. Like you Miles Morales. No, you're not.
like,
you
real. So, and see, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I
yeah, 19-year-old
anything
white
else I say is gonna be a remix because I'm like, dog. So out of all of the OnlyFans profiles, that's the one that caught your attention. All
that
right,
teenage white woman, man.
like
Good
it's
guy.
just wow, wow. You, you and Zion got Southern brothers taking some L's right now. It's you, and even Zion had enough sense to be quiet and get the hell away. Like he was Zion. I was like, I'm cool. Let me go to the gym. I'm cool. I, one of the, this is gonna go down as one of the biggest L's in history, and that is sad.
That's
Like
tough.
that's sad. A 50 million, potentially $50 million L. I, I feel bad because it was avoidable. I feel bad because it was avoidable. Shifting gears back to wrestling briefly, I do want to give a shout out to the Undertaker. So unlike Hulkamania, who died a piece of trash, Undertaker is taking, no pun intended, taking a big risk, but he has been very vocal about not supporting Palestine. not supporting genocide, not supporting certain groups of individuals.
I
If
support
you know
Israel,
what
you
we're
mean?
saying, yeah, not supporting Israel. And it's sad that we are at the point where saying that out loud can be problematic. That's it's sad that you and I now have to tiptoe around that. Before we could just a short time ago we couldn't mention the jab. Now you can't mention the country and the people who are literally causing a genocide. That's a
Might be
problem.
too might be too late for us. I think we already blacklisted. But hey, it is what it is, man. We tell the truth.
That's just I mean, it's something we say jokingly, but it is true. It should be studied how they became what they were victimized by. Honestly, I don't understand it. I and that's now I know we kid and joke. All nonsense aside, I don't understand it. I don't understand how the country that originated it, that being Germany, has been extra super careful to make sure we ain't never gonna have that again. You can't even mention that in Germany at all. Like they know it's not a joke. It's it's basically like you mentioning World War II in Germany is like trying to say Candyman and you've already said it twice. They gonna check you real quick. And I don't understand how the origin of it is like nope, nope. We ain't never gonna visit that again. The people who originated it, the country, the home country that originated it, is like, nah, nope, never again. And the victims of it are like, well, wait a minute, I don't know. I kind of see what they're trying to do here. Maybe that's just the weirdest plot twist historically ever. That is the weirdest plot twist ever. But shout out to Undertaker for being on the right side of history because there is no circumstance that you can side with genocide and be on the right side of history at the same time. Those two things are contradictory. Don't work that way. So it makes the next piece very interesting. And I was curious to see because we talked about it briefly, but I wanted to make sure we save some of that flavor for the show. Columbia University has come up with $21 million in reparations for their Jewish students. I'm just pausing for effect and letting that one sink in. 21 million in reparations.
What happened? What happened in Colombia to for them to
One more
get
time.
that? What happened in Colombia for them to do that?
Let me dig a little bit because I was kind of confused as well because the whole thing is confusing. And there are parts about this that are not being spoken that we are going to touch on
Like, yeah,
because there's as a black person, as two black people,
I mean, I'm already done with that. We know that's not gonna happen. But um, that's not because I don't want it to. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, it's crazy. In order for that to happen, that means something had to happen. And I don't even know what happened. I just know they're getting it. So like, did something happen that we just all missed? Like, Was there a massacre there or something? They just went hush hush.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, I was wrong. Okay. This is weird. This is weird. So this is right from the EEOC 5 days ago. In the largest EEOC public settlement in 20 years, Columbia University agrees to pay 21 million to resolve EEOC anti-Semitism charges? That. mm. Trying to see some conditions here. It's a class settlement fund to resolve civil rights violations against Columbia employees following the October 7th Hamas terror attacks. Ah. So, since October 7th, when all of this happened, Colombia engaged in a pattern or practice of harassment based on national origin, religion, and or race in violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act in 1964.
What, what was the harassment? What did they do?
I, I'm
Because if it was just them saying free Palestine, I'm sorry. No.
so class claims fund to compensate employees who may have experienced anti-Semitism on Columbia's campus post August 7th.
May or did.
May.
They need to provide, if you're going to park over that much money, you got to provide details of what
Oh,
happened.
this is beautiful. Under the guise of promoting free speech, many universities have actually become a haven for anti-Semitic conduct, often in violation of the university's own time, place, and manner policies, as well as civil rights law. Okay, we're gonna stop right there. Okay, so hold on. This is being done under the 1964 Civil Rights Act. So 64, ring a bell? Ring a bell? Ring a bell. 1964 civil rights. Who was that? Who was that supposed to benefit? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you using civil rights that black people sacrificed their lives to get to leverage this lawsuit for $21 million? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing?
What were they saying? That's
They were
what.
victims of anti-Semitism.
Okay, see, we keep throwing that term around, and then half of the time it's not really that. In the other half, what is it? What does that mean? What are they doing to you? We need specifics. You can't just throw that. You can't just. Well, actually, they already do, but you can't just throw that word around with no specifics. Like you're just saying "ow," but you didn't describe
Okay.
what happened.
Hold on. To identify additional potential aggrieved individuals, a claims administrator will send a notice to all Columbia employees, including faculty, including tenured, non-tenured, and adjunct professors, staff, and other employees, including but not limited to students employed by the university. Among other things, the notice will explain how to respond to a confidential questionnaire. The EEOC will use the questionnaire to determine which claimants are eligible to receive money. Oh, that's gonna be a good time. So that goes back to what you just said like 4 times. What happened to you, my guy? What happened? What occurred to make you feel that something anti-Semitic was said about you or to you? That's going to be the trick. I'm sure. Oh boy, the rabbit hole deepens. The rabbit hole deepens because it's like, so if somebody says, "Hey, I was studying in my dorm and it was a free Palestine rally outside," I feel that was anti-Semitic. Run my coin. Is that gonna hold up?
It will now.
So this is, and let me be very clear because I know how things can get twisted. This is, listen, if you were the victim of something anti-Semitic, yes, you should be compensated. Period, point blank.
Right.
The issue a lot of people are having is what's
Details.
considered anti-Semitic is a broad scope.
Ex- that was my point. I need detail. You can't just throw the word anti-Semitic because it's been thrown around too many times, and half of the time it ain't true. So what was specifically done? So we'll know. Okay, that was some anti-Semitic, or man, shut up. It's either or. We need details. You can't be throwing around millions of dollars to people without details of what happened. You just do a broad. Oh, it was just some racist stuff or some anti-Semitic stuff. What happened? Be
So
specific,
let's
or you
here's
can't.
here.
Because
I
if you
don't know.
can't, then they probably shouldn't get it.
I mean, so to be not even be fair, let me do this really quick. So let me count. Um, Kidnapping, unpaid labor, sexual assault on a scale of which hitherto undreamt of, um, Jim Crow, black codes, three strike laws. So you see where I'm going here. See where I'm going here. Stop and frisk. There's we actually have things on the books as descendants of enslaved Africans. What reparations if y'all folk on a campus, right, can are eligible for 21 mil worth of reparations from October to now. March, April, May, June, July, August. So almost 2 years, almost 2 years. In 2 years' time, the group of people that have been on Columbia's campus, 2 years' time. So that's 10, that's 10.5 million per year for this many people. 10.5 million per year. What in the entire hell do you think black folk in this country are entitled to? I'm just saying. I'm not asking, and again, I'm not disputing your claim. If you feel like you were the victim of anti-Semitic treatment, by all means, go get your bread, right?
No,
And
we need details. We got a list of details of so that's written in history. We don't need details about us. We already know. We need details for y'all, dog. We can't just throw this word around, especially in the climate it's in, and then the lies y'all got caught in 4K being told. In 4K. Like if you weren't getting caught in the lie, at least you have some credibility. You have zero credibility. So now we need 100% evidence. What happened? Because if some real stuff
Columbia,
happened, I'm with you. I'm not mad. Get your bread. But if it's literally what you said, people outside protesting free Palestine, having just free Palestine, all that, and you saw that and got super duper offended, which we also see in 4K. That's exactly what happens. And y'all get violent and try to throw away signs and start cussing people out and yada yada. We saw that in 4K. So yeah, no, I disagree with you. Give me details. Give us details. Why is this money being thrown out there? We need to like it shouldn't be that hard anyway. If it was some real hate stuff going on, it should be easy. Like, oh, this is what happened. This is that. And be like, all right, cool. The fact y'all being real broad, not giving details. I don't know. Smell like the bikini bottom to me.
any bottom. I mean, it's like I said, I don't because I'm not Israeli and of that faith, of that nationality or origin. Look, I get it. I don't get to decide what's anti-Semitic any more does anyone get to decide what's racist against black folk. Because that's a struggle too. Well, that wasn't racist. You don't get to tell me what I'm offended by, dog. You don't get to tell me that. So on the flip, I don't get to say that wasn't really anti-Semitic. Like I didn't walk around with a swastika. That wasn't anti-Semitic. No, I don't get to say that. Listen, you get to say what offends you. And by the way, I'm with you. So we're clear. Okay, I'm with you. I get what you're saying. Thing is, We don't get to be the arbiters of that.
I
Who?
don't need to
Who?
be. Bring it to the public. Give
Nah.
details. I mean, that's all I'm asking. That's literally all I'm asking. If
So
if
you
if
want that?
if it give details.
Come on, bro. You want detail? What you want? The Epstein files too? No.
Yeah, I don't need to see no actual tapes of this, but yeah, release the tapes. Yeah, we do need details. Yeah, I agree. Give both. 2 for 1. BOGO, please.
Hey, real quick, sorry, though. Here's the
And
thing, though. Here's the wild part about this. Just since we touched it, here's the wild part. What's gonna happen? What?
public shaming.
Oh, that's gonna work. Yeah, that's gonna work. Like, at this point, and I really want to know, Democrat, Republican, what do you, what was what? I think the thing y'all gonna get a huge dose of what I've got. What do I mean? I have found out in real time, unfortunately, I was wrong, and there's a lot of folk that's really with the shits.
Yeah.
Like I was wrong. I didn't think. No, I was wrong. The amount of people, the amount of white men that are really with the shits, blow my mind.
Nah, ain't just wait a minute. To people. So yeah. This is it like hey. I do
I
know if some names get popped up, especially certain celebrities or whatever. Oh, I already know they a lot of their fan base will still be their support because the parasocial
that's
image mental.
exactly where I was going. The sad reality of it is let's keep it funky. At this the same dude that said I can blast somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. We thought it was a joke. We're learning no, not really, and giving his base at this point, not to be graphic, but I'm almost certain at this point, if they found these files and it's a conversation between him and Epstein about doing unspeakable acts to a 14-year-old, it'd still be folks like, that was then.
Oh, it's already folks saying that. Now half of his base got some, which is crazy to say, but I will give props where props is due. Half of his base got, 2 brain cells that still work. And it was like, yeah, I'm not with that, dog. I'm not with like kids. Like that's why I draw the line. Yeah, I can hate everybody else, but you start touching little Johnnies and stuff. I'm out, cuz. You trying to protect me. All right. But the other half are like, you know what? You see, back in the day, when he was younger and all that,
I
20,
saw
30
something
year
like
olds
that.
marrying teenagers, like you having starting families with teenagers. That was normal back in the day. The age of consent didn't really be a thing to, when we came around and stuff, our generations. That's when, they started going a little older before you start your family. But back in the day, it was teenagers, 12, 13, wives having kids and stuff, banging adults. That was a thing back then. So it's no different now. I swear to God, on everything, I saw some people actually arguing that.
I think I saw somebody make a reel or something like that. I just thought they were
I,
joking. Like I
I'm
can't,
like, nah, some are doing, but nah, some of them are dead ass serious. Like they're that deep in. No diddler
I just
who might be free by then.
so
But yeah,
and
yeah.
I was gonna say when you cut you there. Um, so let me get this straight. And I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. So Alligator Alcatraz, cutting off social safety nets, pretty much criminalizing everything but being rich, white, and male. We cool. That's totally okay. But touching kids sexually, way underage, that's where we draw the line. Now, the line should be drawn there, obviously, but given that that's what it's taking, it raises questions. So if it's 17, they're gonna be like, oh, that's cool, it's legal, it's the age of consent.
Yeah, so they
You
weren't
know,
consent.
you
Like
know,
none of
if,
this was consent. Even if they were adults, this is still bad.
right.
But
If we said it was 16, well, what state was it? Because some states 16 is legal age of consent. And I'm like, y'all don't understand how warped y'all sound. That's MAGA is a cult. Like y'all don't understand to regularly functioning humans how warped you sound.
I'm gonna say it can't be Asia gets sent and sex trafficking can't be in the same sentence. At that point, it doesn't matter. There's no consent involved. The consent
Because
is you getting that. That's it. That's your.
here's the part that also that no one's talked about. How do you get 16-year-old girls on an island?
I mean, let's keep it
It's
real.
it's not as if you get out of school one day from cheerleading practice and get on a jet. How did like we're skipping steps here. We're,
Well,
we're
duh.
skipping steps.
I
Like,
mean,
like, like, let's start
human.
there. How do you
I'm
get a 16 year
man.
old without their parents on a private fucking island?
That's not that hard as you think, because you honestly, human trafficking has been a huge problem already, and it still happens even without the Epstein Act. It still happens. It's still a big business. It happens.
I, I don't get. All right, I will say this. I don't get the impression that this was a Diddy thing. I don't get the impression that they were grabbing destitute 16-year-olds off of Skid Row. I don't get that impression. So I'll
Maybe all the
circle back
above.
to how do you get a 16-year-old out of the country to a private island and no one says a effing word? How do you even pull that off?
Power and the whole system. Like I said, it wasn't just him. He had a whole system in line. So, well, a lot of messed up stuff happens. Usually a system behind them. Certain cities, you know, got the pigs, firefighters. Hell, even some hospitals be with the ish. Hotels be with the ish in traffic. Like so, it takes a whole system for that to work so long and be under the shadows. So you have the power, you have the mask, so no one's really gonna suspect a thing unless it's a whistleblower.
Oh, let me see.
Stuff like this still happens. It's probably still happening right now. As much as we don't want to think about it and think the world is great, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. But I just okay. So young people, not just women, sadly, not just women, but boys too. Young people can get caught up in sex trafficking at a very young age, right?
Most vulnerable, yeah.
I don't get the impression that men of these sort with means and so on and so forth are going for the 16-year-old runaway who looks like she's been on the streets, if you follow where I'm going here. So I'm trying to figure out how do you get little wholesome Becky from suburbia to a private island and no one knows anything? Like that's the part that's blowing my mind, how this even occurs. And no one says a word. Like I don't think I just don't get the impression they're grabbing the 16-year-old runaways in rough Skid Row. I
Why
don't
can't
get that
everything?
impression.
Why can't it just be all the above? I mean, I don't really
It
need the
could be.
details, but
Where's it? Okay, so what I'm trying to say, and I've been doing a terrible job of it. If we're talking about the forgottens and the girls who will run away from home anyway, and their parents might not notice they're missing, whole different conversation. I don't get the impression that that's what they were going for. If I had to bet money, they're grabbing wholesome, sweet little girls who have families who would notice them missing. So that's what I'm like. How do you grab 16-year-olds who probably have families and good backgrounds to an island? Like we're not talking a Motel 6 around a corner. We're talking to a whole fucking island. That's the part. Like that's the trick of okay. Anyone gonna talk about that part too?
nah,
Anyone talk about the traffic part?
you're really overthinking. It's not as hard as you think.
I mean, look. We grew
Clearly,
up.
they got a system and it worked.
Apparently so. Because I'm just saying, I'm just putting it back to you. When you were 16, I believe you had a cell phone. You couldn't disappear for X amount of hours without me being concerned about it. You're a boy. You couldn't disappear for X amount of hours without me noticing. So I'm like, how on God's green earth do you get a 16-year-old girl to a whole island.
Okay, but you're missing at that. I mean, let's keep it real. If I was missing, I'm missing. Like, yeah, you can know I'm gone, but I'm gone. If I'm on a whole fucking island, phone's left behind. You just and you. Let's be real, cops ain't really gonna be looking for me. So yeah, you're gone. Once you're gone, you're gone. It's like you gonna try to search for yourself. You will probably never find them, and then you just gonna have to live with the fact that they're gone. That's probably what happened.
Well, remember,
I don't see why
remember
that'd be.
they
Hmm?
had witnesses. Remember, some of these young girls are now adults. They had witnesses. They had people who could testify, which means they came back. So that's the part I'm like, so you got snatched away to an island, unspeakable acts happened, and you got sent home, which means like how what
I,
to be
I,
rich and powerful, boy.
that's what I was
The
about to
things you
say.
can get away with when you rich and powerful.
Now you get into the power dynamics, and that's why I said that's where the power comes in. You can
Mhm.
like Trump said or whatever, like you just said. You have a certain amount of power, you can really do anything.
You
That's
know
just
what? That's the level. That's the
that's
level of power
history.
I never work. I never aspire to have.
That's
I just,
history.
I don't. But you know, we saw. Well, we didn't see it until much later. We saw somebody in a towel kick the ever loving shit out of a black woman, and you know, paid off the hotel, and it never happened. So, so it's levels of power and insulation that I will probably never understand, and I am perfectly okay with that. I am perfectly okay with that. I don't think that level of power and insulation should exist.
But no,
As
it
you and I have
does.
said numerous times, billionaires should not exist at all. Side note, our favorite South African is on his way to becoming a trillionaire, which just even saying that almost made me throw up in my mouth a little bit. To hoard that much resource.
Hmm. To think he won't
Like
even be the first. Wow. But
like
yeah,
to hoard that much resource. Why would you
I mean that's been going on. At this point, as much as I hate it, I kind of gotta accept it because everyone else accepts it. So, and this is literally history. It's been a part of us since civilization was formed, and that might be the reason why it was formed, to be honest. But yeah, hey, sure, a lot of people gonna be happy for him. You know, that's more money that's probably even physically available. I don't even think you can print $1 billion, $1 trillion. But Lord have mercy. Ah,
I just
you gotta love capitalism. You gotta love the world. You gotta love money, man. You love money, you might become like him. Let's keep the con going. Makes the world more entertaining.
I I yeah. And I guess it goes to because one thing I don't know Elon's beginnings. I think how you begin your origin story can affect a lot, right? Someone who grew up completely poor, I went through the phase of I want all the things. And then as an adult, I wanted people to be okay way more than I wanted all the things. I say that to say, how do you arrive at, hey, I'm the richest person on the planet, but that ain't quite enough. I want Mansa Musa, richest person to ever have existed money. In an era where people don't have enough and you have more than enough. I don't, like I said, it's just how I'm wired. But the notion sickens me. Like it is sickening to think $1 trillion. Because I think we toss around billionaire way too casually. Because I don't think most people have a concept of how much money $1 billion is. Like if I gave you $1,000 right now, every day, you probably won't ever get to a billion. That's for the rest of your life. That's how long it is. It-
Now you add to
wow.
a trillion, you be dead.
Like if I gave you, I think a trillion is so much money. If I gave you $100,000 every day, you still wouldn't reach a trillion for the rest of your life. Maybe not two lifetimes.
A million, to be honest with you. I mean, you give
Like if I
me
give you 100 grand every day, and then when you think about it, like again, I understand this is a byproduct of my beginnings. I wouldn't even want to. Like I wouldn't, I wouldn't even want to.
at that point, you just he might start the Hunger Games or something. You gonna have so much money, you just bored. What
Mhm.
what are you supposed to do with that? Like your kids, to infinity will have money without even earning a cent more. Like that's crazy. Yep, Hunger Games is coming. I know it.
So we're gonna go from South Africa to South Carolina. What in the ever loving hell, dog? I ain't gonna lie, this one kind of got to me. This one kind of got to me. Let's put a name on it. Let's put a name on it. Let's put a name on it. Well, first off, what am I talking about? So, a black jogger was shot at. Thankfully, not killed. This is in Richland County in South Carolina. Um, Jonathan Felkel. Yeah, Jonathan Felkel. He was sitting in his truck, saw a black man jogging, grabbed a rifle and shot at him. And drove into the community he was sitting the community he was sitting by and said, "Keep running, boy." It, it is 2025. It's 2025. It's 2025. This brings back shades of Ahmaud Arbery, who was essentially hunted down and shot and killed while jogging.
And cover it up.
Okay, for months. For months. For months. So and to his credit, if we want to call it credit, he said he got to it. I was going to shoot at him. I was. I was going to shoot at him. Yo, country bumpkin. So enter my usual rant of why the Glorious Empire State is what it is, and why, in a lot of instances, I just don't rock with the South. Because we still doing this. We still doing this. We still doing this, huh? But no, no. Let some white folks tell it. We making it up. It's in our heads. Ain't nobody worried about black folk. Ain't no racism. I don't see color. Right. Right. Thankfully, the brother lived. Thankfully, from what I can tell, the brother wasn't hit. But all it takes is one white person with a gun and bad intentions. Thankfully, this idiot apparently has bad aim. Because so a free, it just, and I guess I know the answer to the question. I just don't like the answer. So a free black man going for a run bothers you that bad? Ain't literally ain't doing nothing to you, nothing. Going for a fucking jog, and that bothers you that bad? This where we at still?
That a question? That's never going away. But um, yeah, I don't even try to make sense of it. It nothing makes sense.
I guess the reason I try to, for lack of a better term, make sense of it is because I don't get it. I don't get it.
You
It
wouldn't.
doesn't make any freaking sense. Like, there is no threat to you. None.
Your existence is a threat. Hey, you trying to make
Like,
sense of something that don't make sense.
because I'm like, okay, so what? And this is why I've always said I love to talk to a white supremacist. So walk me through it, because it seems very Hitler-esque, and we've had this conversation. It's one thing to say, hey, I don't like these people, but whatever. But what, like, I would love to ask. So walk me through. You wake up tomorrow and there are no black people. How is your life better?
No black people.
Tangibly show me how your life is better.
You can't because it's still black people.
I'm gonna regret saying it. I'm gonna regret saying it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You can't be, not you. They can't be that stupid. Like your life does not improve with the absence of me. You can't be that stupid. We don't affect policy. We don't affect change. We don't control resources. You party to our music. You secretly lust after our women. How does your life get better if I'm not here?
They both do. But hey, like I said, IQ and intelligence and racism are not synonyms. Those two words do not come together. So
Salute.
you gotta just roll with it. Roll tide.
Yeah. Ah, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I'm aggravated and frustrated. Like, can we move along, please? Jesus, the Civil War ended in 1865. The Civil Rights Act was 1965. You can't even make it make sense anymore.
Didn't make
I
sense.
like again, I can you don't have to live amongst black people. This country is still largely segregated in certain ways. My existence does not bother you. I'm literally out for a jog. How does that hurt you in any way, shape, or form?
At this point, why ask why?
Okay, it just seems so dated. Uh,
But I do appreciate him being open. That's it. Hey,
yeah.
you not classing, you not denying it. Cool. So that means I know where you stand. Don't have to guess. Nothing. I said no white
Nope.
hood. You're not a coward about it. I mean, you're a coward, but you're not a full blown coward. You didn't hide behind the hood. You stood tall and did so
Yeah.
cool. So now we all know who you are and where you stand.
And, and he
Now we
is
know how
gonna
to react accordingly. There you
the
get some.
way he's looking, he's gonna get charged with a hate crime, which means enhanced penalties, but he'll be protected by the Aryans behind the wall.
I'm
So
about to say you better go find the areas.
pretty much,
If that's your
pretty
only,
much.
because if you don't, you might not make it. Cause, but hey, I'm sure they will protect you in there. Better hope.
That's just the dumbest thing to go to jail for. Yeah, that's just the dumbest thing.
He ain't even kill him, so you should do all that for nothing.
I,
I'm saying that was great. That would be great news. It's a good news for me and that brother over there. But he did all that, going to serve all that time to shoot at his feet and say, "Boy, I hope it was worth it." And I hope Marilyn Manson in their protection.
okay,
No,
for those
Marilyn
who might
Manson. And they got that. It's just if you watch SOA Sons of Anarchy, you get the joke.
for those I was just about to say, for those who might not get that joke, that is another anarchy joke. It is hilarious. And oh gosh, as a former Marilyn Manson fan, you cannot imagine my watching SOA for the first time. It's like, wait, is that Marilyn Manson?
If you,
Oh no, Jews.
poor Juice, but he did it to himself, man. I can't even. He did it to himself.
Is that arguably the worst? But I
Nah,
don't know. It's between him and Otto between
nah,
the
it's
worst of the
auto
worst.
all the way, auto all the way.
we'll debate it later because I'm still like,
That's not
okay.
debatable.
I'm gonna ask the fans online,
That
like,
is not
who
debatable.
who had the worst story arc?
Otto all the way. Like everything that could worst possibly happen to you happened to him. Literally. There was nothing that didn't happen to him.
Yeah, but Juice also wasn't.
Dog, the
Otto
worst
had
thing
it.
you're gonna say is he got, a booty hole massage or whatever that you
No,
say.
no, 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 no,
That's
no, no,
it.
no, no. Here's the thing. None of what happened to Juice was supposed to happen.
That was his fault though.
But I'm saying, like, ultimately, he was supposed to come home. It wasn't supposed to be him in jail for no X amount of years. He was supposed to come home. Otto was
Otto?
already facing
Yes,
life.
that's no. Otto was supposed to come home. He was doing stuff for the club that added to the sentence. That's what makes it tragic. He was supposed to go home to his wife. Instead, he lost both his eyes, his tongue, his booty, his wife. He lost everything, literally. Everything.
Because I'm like, maybe I'm thinking about it from a prison standpoint. Like, if you got a life sentence, you got a life sentence. You're never coming home. Juice was supposed to come home. That's the part that's like, dog, you supposed to come home. And now you don't. And now you got Marilyn Manson sweating on your back. Like, it's
Oh, and
just
don't forget the Asians too. They had them too. But hey, you got a fat security guards on your back and beating you. So that's happening every day. You can't even scream. You can't even see it. You don't even know when it's coming. Like, dog, nah. The club was banging your wife too, and she got killed in a brutal way. Like, nah. He had the most. He was supposed to come home. He had everything. His too organized. The tongue was ready to come home. Stay loyal to the club and got done the most dirty, filthy ever. It's like it was to a point. I'm like, please, somebody put him out of his misery.
hmm. All right. Speaking of, well, yeah. So this is interesting. And it's one of these interesting cases of maybe what we're being told isn't everything that's going on. Shane Tamura went into a building in Manhattan. He's allegedly trying to get to the NFL offices. And
No,
again, this is the
no,
story. This was being floated.
he what?
Trying to get to NFL offices, and he shot a couple folk, turned a gun on himself. Um, Says lifts a note saying check his brain for CTE. Here's where this gets very interesting. Don't believe he ever played in NFL. Now, as you can attest, if you even so much make it to high school, not even college, if you so much as make it to high school ball on a high level, you have sustained possibly some head trauma.
Well, I know
There's
I
a
did.
lot of there's a
For
lot
sure.
of collisions from Pop Warner through high school. A
It
lot of
is.
collisions there.
And most of it is helmet to helmet because we don't know how to tackle. So yes.
Well, by the time you get to high school, you do.
Yeah,
Like,
but let me guess. I started at 7. So 7 to high school, all the helmet to helmet collisions. And know vividly how many I had a lot of helmet to helmet collisions. And most of them weren't even my fault. So yeah, because like I said, back then we didn't know how to tackle. It was just spearing people.
Jesus. But again, that was back then. I'm trying
Yeah.
to see, but this cat never. Oh wow, wait a minute. This is 2015. And this is where this gets weird. So he had an interview on Good Morning America. Not him. He didn't have anybody on Good Morning America. But they interviewed someone he knew who coached him back in 2015. Tamura left behind several notes. This is from Eyewitness News, Channel 7. Tamura left left behind several notes in which he blamed the NFL for TBI, traumatic brain injury. Tamura has no known connection to the NFL. Why is this odd? Why is this odd?
NFL was not even stationed where he went. That too. And he went specifically to a specific he passed people on his way up, didn't touch him. He targeted specific people. And I like I said, I'm not saying it's right that I agree with it. It's diabolically genius that you would try to spin this story because, like we said, when Luigi got caught up, you don't want any uh not doppelgangers, copycats, or people getting ideas that you just off CEOs. That's why I said they were gonna try to make an example out of. But it
So
might be too late.
enlighten the people. Who did he really shoot?
Oh, was it not Black Rock? Was it Black Rock? I just know it was a CEO or a few.
Mhm.
Like,
Because that's the part I'm trying to get to. Because when I pull it up, the name, that's not coming up. That's
I
not coming up.
wonder. I wonder why.
That's not coming up.
Dr. Evil smiling somewhere with mini me. But hey, like I say from their standpoint, the elite standpoint, I get why you spin the story because if it comes out that yeah, another CEO was targeted and actually got succeeded, you don't want to start precedent of wait, the poor are starting to eat the rich now.
Bro.
Mm, that's tough.
So so here's where this gets very interesting and spooky all at once. When I put his name in, Shane Tamura, first thing that comes up is NFL trauma, right? Mind you, we just literally said he has no connection to NFL. So I made it a little more specific. Who did Shane Tamura shoot? There is no mention. The first things that come up are football, football, football. That is what's being ran with. That is what we being ran with. I should have had my other files prepared because, right. So let me help the people out a little bit. Who actually did get shot is I think a BlackRock or Blackwell. I forgot the company's name, CEO. I didn't keep it all there because I thought I'd be able to just pull it right on up. Funny how the internet works, right? There seems to be another matter at play here. Um, there were no NFL offices where Shane went. Um, well, not allegedly. From what we the public are being told that he shot himself. I'm curious to know if he shot himself in the head because that would fly in the face of check my brain for CTE. Because if you shoot yourself in the brain, well, yeah. There seems to be more layers to this than what's being talked about. There seems to be something deeper than, oh, he was mad about the NFL that he never actually played in. Now, is there a reason to be? Absolutely. Absolutely. It is on a grand scale, like we've said on the show numerous times. On a grand scale, it is yet the further sacrifice of black bodies, all bodies, but particularly black bodies for white gain. We've said this numerous times. But this one is interesting. This one's interesting. I don't know if you got anything on it, but this one is interesting because it seems like misdirection. Seems like we're being floated this NFL story to misdirect us from what might really be going on, which is an unalive CEO. Another one. So, uh, Heath Ledger Joker voice. It's not about money to some folks. It's about sending a message. And it's one hell of a message. That's one hell of a message. And again, I'm not wishing death on anybody. Really. Not even the guy in office. I'm not wishing death on anybody. What I am hoping for is change. And I'd love to see that happen without bloodshed in general.
That's not going to happen.
Um, I'm not ready to concede that to you just yet. I'm not ready to be like, you know what, you're right. I'm not ready to concede that yet. I do know now what I've seen is I think I sent it to you. I forgot where it was, but we're seeing it was ICE protesters being beaten and snatched by local PD wherever they were. That's what I found interesting and disturbing all at once. Um, Peaceful protest and ICE, and they got snatched and beaten by local PD. It was on a bridge, but they got snatched and beaten by local PD. Not even ICE. It wasn't even ICE. It was local PD. Why would you? And this is where you started saying, okay, these some scary times.
What? Now was some scary time. We passed that. Now we in the end game now. So what we about to do?
I don't know because, and I think the problem is, I think that's where you're going to start seeing the bloodshed. And I'm hoping I'm wrong on this,
Well, it seems
but I
like
think that's where you're going to start seeing the bloodshed
what?
because if you listen, if me, you, and 30 people form a small organization, not a militia, small organization, and we're going to protest, and someone grabs you, ICE, local people, whatever, I'm not just standing there. And I think people are going to start seeing, okay, maybe we need to take peaceful out of protest because they ain't being peaceful with us. People's getting pepper sprayed, rubber bullet, getting the shit kicked out of them. And again, this ain't even ICE. This is local police departments.
Yeah. They're
Go.
to me.
I think that's where you're going to start seeing the bloodshed, unfortunately, because everybody ain't going. Every protest ain't going to be peaceful. If people is coming to peacefully protest, which you can do, which is within your civil rights,
Or
air
not.
quotes, at this point,
Or not.
and things go left, every protest ain't gonna keep being peaceful if that's what it's gonna result in.
Man, how do you get peace? What revolution was not built off blood? Doesn't exist. We're not that evolved that we can do that yet. So, yeah. Well, actually, we could do a peaceful one, but it requires a lot of unity and people be on the same page.
It
That's not
does.
gonna happen. So, the only way for it to actually really get pushed is either we all have a common enemy to unite, or we're just gonna be bloody.
I mean, I go back to Gladiator. I'll go back to Gladiator.
Which is a lot of blood, by the way.
Well, hold on. Commodus faced a dilemma because he knew if he just had Maximus killed, he'd make him a martyr. And that's the thing that I can't believe these idiot elites can't see. As much as, and I'm going to keep it to the U.S., as much as the U.S. feared the rise of a black messiah, King, Huey, every other name you're going to name was created by the turmoil and the nonsense of the government of the country, right? Where I'm going here is, look, if you want to keep suppressing the people and have them go along with this BS, don't go rattling the cages. Don't go knocking people over the head for peaceful protests. If you want to create a quote unquote black messiah or any leader, or you want to create John Connor, keep doing what you're doing.
We might need John Connor. Forget the government. No robots. I mean, but nah. Um, it's just a show. Hey, I mean, you know the old term. It's best to be feared than love if you can't have both. So I think they just show it straight for the show of fear, which is kind of working. Well, not kind of. It's been working. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when we're gonna reach the point when the fear runs out, and then, as you know, in all empires that rule with fear, eventually it falls because over time people are going to get not be afraid anymore. They're just going to be tired of being scared, and that fear is going to turn to anger and rage. And
And
then,
I think we're getting there. I'm sorry, continue.
well, yeah, I think we're a long way from that, to be honest with you. Because like we both said in the beginning of the show, there's a lot of people, not just white people, just a lot of people in this country that are with the shits. That whatever they throw, they will make an excuse and they will drink whatever, Negan style,
Well,
and say thank you.
Well, I'll go back to something you and I said back when we had George Floyd. The sad reality of it is you start offending and hurting white people, things change. When you can target illegals, when you can pull over and murder black people, eh, not so much. The folks that we saw getting their ass whooped on that bridge, white folks, that's going to have a different effect. And it's sad it takes that. That's going to have a different effect.
Nah,
That's gonna look different. Like I said, you go back to the George Floyd protest, we had allies out there, white allies out there, throwing hands with and getting their ass whipped by cops. Things were different. Things were different.
just because everybody was on the side, because yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it happened, but
Mm-hmm.
everyone ain't on the same side. This is different. Some
Um.
people are with the ish. I mean, well, not some, a lot of people are with the ish and justified. They want, they are actively willing to forego their freedom for security. Actively. And that's exactly what's happening.
Well,
Getting
quote,
more
quote.
secure, but as we get more secure, our freedom is being stripped literally right in front of you. It's happening in real time.
Mm-hmm. Quoting Talib, who I'm sure I forgot who we got the quote from, and that's the first place it came from. Those who would trade in their protection for freedom for protection deserve neither. But yeah,
And that's
I
what happened.
just, I'm just, it's becoming a powder keg. And that's the sad reality. That's what it takes. But look, you keep it at quote unquote illegals, you keep it at black folk. Eh, way too many people who still believe that, well, they're illegal. That's what they get. Well, they're black. They just stop resisting. You start beating down people who look like y'all. That's when shit starts getting juicy and things start happening.
Not really.
That's when I think at some point, okay, these because let's keep it all the way funky. We know the vast majority of militias are white. We know this. So all it's going to take is one protest to go a certain way, and you're going to bring these white militias out, and then we're really going to see what happens. And again, let me be very, very clear when I state this. I really wish this can all be resolved without bloodshed. But the way things are going, today it's cops beating somebody down on a bridge. Everybody ain't going to stand for that. Every protest is not going to be peaceful. And if this country is going to devolve into what they have labeled third world countries, where you see governments suppressing movements violently, yeah, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time.
It would be too late. But yeah, welcome to America.
Now the last thing we're going to touch on something light, nothing too crazy. I saw it. I was like, oh, that's cool. Apparently, female Uber riders can now request strictly female Uber drivers. Honestly, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like, I think that potentially cuts down on just a massive amount of BS. It just cuts it all down. Because I don't know about you, I've heard some of the horror stories from women who have gotten in Ubers. And then as someone that used to drive it, I'm not gonna lie, it has made me nervous when I used to drive at night and I'd have just one woman in the car. I felt better when I would pick up, a cup, more than if there's more than one woman in the car, I felt better because and keep it all the way funky, made me very nervous when I would pick up a white woman in the car because history has shown us white women tears can equal death sentence for black people, for black men.
Ciao, Shannon.
So that's what I'm like before everyone freaks out. Oh my gosh, that sounds so racist. That sounds so prejudiced. Listen, how many instances do I need to find you where white women tears spell doom?
You ain't even say all that. They know this term very well. I fear for my life. Yeah. Not so great was flipped, huh?
So
But it,
that's what I'm like, you know what, dog? And like I said, being honest with it, I'm not placing the blame on women. I'm saying, because again, I've heard the other side of it, and some of these dudes be creepy. Some of these dudes be creepy. Like Friday, Saturday nights when women is going out and things like that, they put their thing on and they look in a certain way. Yeah, I've heard the stories of some of these dudes just being mad creepy. And I'm like, dog, you do understand Uber rides are now recorded, right? You understand they'll tell you, hey, this ride is being recorded.
no,
So I'm just like, it's wild. So I'm like, you know what? For the best possible outcome for all parties involved, if you a woman and you want to get a woman driver, no complaint from me, dog.
I
It's
agree.
like all women. It's like all women's gyms. Because as someone that was in the fitness space, dudes can default to creepy instantly. Now, for the little fitness influencers, because we've seen the other side of that too. You sitting here doing all this wild stuff, and a brother just walking by. Are you staring at my ass? Nah, dog. I was literally just going to the water fountain. like, just I'm just going to the water fountain. I was not staring at your ass. But okay. But no, you know what? To avoid the nonsense, bravo Uber. Bravo Uber. I got no complaints with that because I know somebody, well, that's not fair because that means women get more rides. Hey,
Okay.
listen,
Uh, congrats. Good. Whatever. Honestly, it doesn't affect me. That's why I really don't care. But like, I have no beef with it. It
I
makes
mean, technically it could affect you, but yeah.
how's it gonna affect me? I don't even take Uber.
What see, no, that's the thing. If you were ever to decide to drive and were falsely
Not
accused of
happening.
something.
But yeah, hey,
I,
hey, hey,
I mean, I know a lot of people who just do Uber Eats, which is wild to me, but I know a lot of people just do Uber Eats.
I said, I'm sure you will still get your rides. I just want to know how they, I ain't gonna open that can of worms. They ain't gonna, nope. Never mind.
Wait,
They'll figure it
wait.
out.
I'm afraid to know. I believe it be. I'm afraid to know. I think I might know, but I'm afraid
You
to know.
probably do that. I'm not even gonna open that right. Good idea. Good luck figuring that out. But here,
Right. I'm right. All fair. All fair. All fair.
hey, it just came to me. I wasn't even thinking about it, but the climate and stuff. So, hey,
Yeah.
on the
So.
surface, great idea. But I'm sure y'all figure it out. Because boy,
Mhm. That would be that does present an interesting wrinkle. If I think I know where you're going, I intentionally avoided that off ramp.
I did.
Um,
Yeah, I did too. That's why I said,
I intentionally avoided that off ramp.
uh,
I am staying in this lane.
I agree. No
I'm
pun
staying in this lane.
intended.
But nah, I'm with it, man. Like I'm all about women being safe and comfortable, and if being another woman as a driver, and the other side of that coin too. Well, it doesn't go the other way though. I don't think the other way meaning if you're a woman driver, can you request only women riders? I don't think you can do that yet. But as a rider, yeah, if you want to only be driven around by women, I'm all for it. And I think it just cuts down on the possibility of certain things. Like I said, as a former driver, when I used to drive at night, it's just always a layer of, oh boy, whenever. And see, I've had this weird. I had a rider once, intoxicated white lady, and I'm like, yeah, this was a problem. This was a problem because she kept touching me, and I'm like, listen, I had to say like 3, 4 times, please don't touch me, yo, please don't touch me, and she had no good reason to, no good reason to, like, yo, please don't touch me. So eventually, I got ticked off. I got off the off ramp, stopped at the gas station, was like, yo, just please get out, get out. So she gets out the car and slams the door, but not before calling me the N word. Okay. So, because you drunk and you incoherent, and I put you out my car, you gotcha. Gotcha. So yeah, I'm all for it, dog. I'm all for it. Because again, ain't as a black man in this country, ain't nothing scarier than the prospect of a white woman deciding that you're a threat. That's just the real to real. That's just the real to real. That's just the real to real. So I'm like, I'm all for it. I want women, and ultimately, I just want women safe. Like no nonsense. I just want women safe, and whatever for what that looks like. Yeah, if it means having a woman drive for your Uber, salute. All right, running back recap. This was cool. Starting from the top. Hulkamania, brother. Yeah, rest in peace. And an event didn't have to be that way. That was the choice you made. I understand when it's finally time, it's checkout time for me. Um, all of this stuff is gonna come back, and they're gonna look at me and say, "Bro, it's probably the white people." If you don't understand the nuance, cool. I've said everything I wanted to say, and if you misinterpret it that way, that's fine. Key difference here is Hogan didn't have anything to misinterpret. When you refer to brothers as 8 foot basketball playing niggers, rest in peace. Bye bye. This ain't my 7-year-old self talking. um, Shout out to Undertaker. Protect that man at all costs. Like I knew Undertaker was cool. I know he was that cool. I didn't know he was middle fingers to oppression cool. Shout out to Undertaker. Um, I'm not knocking Israeli students getting reparations. If Columbia University wants to cough up 21 mil for less than 2 years worth of anti-Semitism, cool. I'm just asking on behalf of the American descendants of slavery, Columbia University, and every other possible institution that we have built, run the jewels. Pay what you owe, Santa. Pay what you owe. I've been watching the Boondocks again. Pay what you owe, Santa. Uh, yeah. Jonathan Felco, have fun in jail. You probably will. But just we still doing this. We still shooting at black people for running, just enjoying a nice jog, and I gotta worry about getting shot at. We're still doing this in 2025. Wow. Again, not gonna lie, makes me a little bit nervous. Makes me a little bit nervous, and that's why I run on the sidewalk and out of sight lines of infrared beams, at least as far as I know. Because you got folks sitting in cars that want to shoot at you just because. And lastly, well, not lastly, Shane Tamura. I'm finding it troubling on a very real scale that I can't find any information about the other side of this tragedy. Everything you Google, everything you touch right now is coming up to how he wanted to get to NFL offices, which weren't even in the building, and avenge or bring attention to some kind of CTE that he may or may not have had, because I don't see anything saying he made it past high school football. Anybody with more than 3 functioning brain cells can say, this looks a little fishy. So we'll do an update next show. I'll dig deeper. Again, I did not anticipate not being able to find the information. That is wild and concerning. Lastly, ladies, if you want to take an Uber and only have women Uber drivers, salute. Ultimately, I just want women safe. I want everybody safe, but I want women safe. And this cuts down, at least in theory, on a whole bunch of possibilities of nonsense. All right. Your recap, sir.
Oh, Hogan, like I said, RIP, reminds with is Miss uh Undertaker with Palestine. Yeah, I knew I liked you as a wrestler, man. Instincts were right. Hopefully. Uh Columbia, the reparations. Show me the Carfax. That's all I want. No, I'm not saying what did or didn't. I just want to know what happened. Because that was quick and easy. It must be nice. But it's all right. The jewels that we worked hard for will never be ours. Uh Jonathan Fiegel. It's funny he got a K in his name. Is yeah. Say hello to Marilyn Manson for me. I know he's not actually like that, but SOA Joe. You watch SOA, you get the joke.
Understand?
And I kind of hope this thing happens to you too. Shout out Juice. Uh, Shane Tamura conspiracy. Yeah, Kenny Bottom ain't got more fish than this. Because NFL wasn't located there. CTE, you did make it to the NFL. I'm not saying you can't get it from high school because I'm sure maybe if I die and look at my brain, I might have some. I don't know. So I know we couldn't hit back then for shite. But yeah, CEOs, beware. Whoa, the boogeyman's back, man. Kendrick brought the bigger man back. I'm just saying, hey. Nah, I'm playing.
And
Under
when is Luigi's trial date? Like that thing quietly just kind of disappeared. But yeah, continue.
who's wrong?
Luigi.
Oh,
Right, exactly. Right.
nah, I was thinking about Mario. He I have no idea. I went on the hush hush too. Like I said, I haven't heard a thing about it.
Not a statement, not a peep. Like suddenly it's like it ain't ever happened.
And I'm probably sure what just happened now, they definitely not gonna say nothing. Because we don't need any more reminders.
Got
Yeah,
to do imaginary CTE. Oh, my bad.
he wasn't mad at the CEO. He just, I don't know. Assassin's Creed now. And the Uber for women, you got no complaints here. Okay, do what you gotta do. Hopefully it works out. And hopefully we don't have the issues that I think that could occur, but hey, that is not my problem.
All right, and just for clarification, Luigi does not have a trial date as of yet.
He still doesn't have a trial date.
Nope. Last court appearance was February 21st. March. February. Wow, that was 6 months ago. Wow. So he just been chilling 6 months, no trial date.
That happens to a lot of people, surprisingly. But you think something as big as this, they would to make the example out of 'em, or the example is to disappear.
I mean, he kind of tried that, but yeah.
Who tried it?
No, remember, he got caught on the run.
At McDonald's.
That thing.
He needed a Big Mac that bad. See, this is me, right? See, like I said, SpongeBob would be proud. Krabby Patties everywhere with these stories, man.
Listen,
What
so I
was
gotta go. I gotta go dig more. But I'm sorry. Was that your recap, sir?
see? I'm done.
Well, on behalf of myself, my amazing co-host, we are back at it. Yay, yay, yay. Same bad time, same bad channel next week from the Yeah I Said It podcast. Peace.
Yeah.